Well, abuse of political power and an attempt to cover it up. Those are the allegations being faced by the Trump administration in Washington following the release of a bombshell whistleblower complaint outlining the US president's controversial call with the leader of Ukraine. Now, it's the same complaint that sparked an impeachment inquiry against Mr. Trump earlier this week. Democrats claim this is the smoking gun that proves the president used his power to push Ukraine to investigate top Democrat leadership contender Joe Biden and his son. But Republicans aren't backing away from the president yet, with many dismissing these claims of undue pressure in that phone call. Well, let's get more now from Eugene Scott from the Washington Post. Thank you so much for joining us there from the US Capitol. So today we were hearing a testimony from the acting director of national intelligence in the US. These claims of a cover-up. Did that testimony address those concerns?
It did. Joseph McGuire was asked by Democrats why he did not come forward earlier with concerns about the complaint that the whistleblower filed. And McGuire made it clear that he wanted to check with some staff from the White House as well as the Justice Department to make sure that things weren't happening under executive privilege before he went further with his concerns. And so whether or not he behaved appropriately is up for discussion. But what many Democrats tried to determine was that he perhaps did not do everything that he could have done to be as transparent with the American people and those who are concerned about the president's suspicious activity.
Well, I mean, Eugene, when we're talking about the Democrats, I mean, they are saying, yeah, this is it, this is the smoking gun. But what would it take for the Republicans? We've seen some of them say it's concerning, but what would it take for Republicans to move against Mr. Trump on this?
Well, we've seen throughout this presidency that most Republican lawmakers continue to support the president no matter what happens, primarily because their voters support the president. We know that President Trump has approval ratings from Republicans higher than most presidents throughout history. And so as we see the tide turn among the electorate, we can probably begin to expect Republican lawmakers to follow suit. But there was at least one Republican lawmaker, Mike Turner, who actually did say today that the president's behavior was inappropriate. And that's significant considering how most Republican lawmakers have responded to all of the things and that have been done and said by the president since he entered the Oval Office.
You mentioned the electorate there, and I was going to ask you, because we're not just talking about Mr. Trump, the initial allegations are against Joe Biden and his son. So is all of this hurting Joe Biden's chances at winning that Democrat nomination and then potentially taking Trump on in 2020?
Well, we haven't seen much polling, obviously, to suggest that Biden has been hurt by this. In fact, what people on the left, the people who are most supportive of Biden, are doing for the most part is just leaning into the possibility that what they would like to see happen with Trump could actually happen. Whether or not this will affect Biden, I think, is secondary for many of these voters, and they'll be focused on that when they focus more on the primary to determine who will be the Democratic nominee. But as of now, most attention is on the president.